Hey, it's Mr. E here, and our learning target for this video is I can solve geometry problems that involve quadratic equations. So what is a quadratic equation? This is something that you should recall from your algebra course. A quadratic equation is an equation whose variable has a highest exponent of 2. So, for example, x squared plus 8x equals negative 15 is a quadratic equation because the variable's highest exponent is 2. So here are some steps, or guidelines rather, that we can use to solve quadratic equations. And I'm going to use these guidelines to help me solve that equation we just saw. So example 1 says solve for x. So I'm going to use these guidelines, and for step 1, what I want to do is I want to set it equal to 0 so that it looks like this: ax squared plus bx plus c equals 0. So that means I got to add 15 to both sides of the equation. That way I can set it equal to 0. It'll say 0 on the right side of the equation. These will cancel out, and I'll be left with 0 on the right side. I want you to notice something here. 15 is not a like term with the 8x and the x squared, so you got to keep it separate. So the left side of the equation should look like that: 8x squared plus 8x plus 15. And that's just the first step. Set the equation equal to 0 and put it in the form ax squared plus bx plus c equals 0. Our second guideline says to factor. When you factor a trinomial that is in this form, you will need 2 sets of parentheses. Let me bring that all back. So we're going to need 2 sets of parentheses. X goes here, x goes here. I need to find the factors of 15 that add up to 8. In other words, what 2 numbers multiply to 15 and also add up to 8? That would be 5 and 3, both positive, so they both get plus signs. So 5 times 3 is 15, and 5 plus 3 gives you 8. Bring down the equals 0. Step 3 says set each one of the set of parentheses equal to 0. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to split these here like that, and I'm going to write x plus 5 equals 0, x plus 3 equals 0, and then I'm going to solve for x. Minus 5 on both sides. I get x equals negative 5 here, and minus 3 here, and I get x equals negative 3. So the solution is x equals negative 5 and x equals negative 3. So you have 2 solutions in quadratic equations. All right, let's continue. Example 2. So now we're getting to some geometry. And this is a simple angle sum theorem problem, but it's going to lead to a quadratic equation. You'll see. So I'm going to read it. It says in triangle ABC, measure of angle A is equal to x squared plus 12. Measure of angle B is equal to 11x plus 5. And measure of angle C is equal to 13x minus 17. Determine the value of x. So we have a triangle. A, B, and C are the vertices. This is not drawn to scale. It says angle A is x squared plus 12. It says angle B is 11x plus 5. And it says angle C is 13x minus 17. And it says determine the value of x. So we're going to need the triangle angle sum theorem because all of these angles are inside the triangle. So that means angle A plus angle B plus angle C should add up to 180. So we substitute. We get x squared plus 12, that's angle A, plus angle B, 11x plus 5 plus angle C, 13x minus 17 equals 180. So here I'm going to combine the like terms. So I got 11x and 13x. And then I also have to combine the plus 12 with the plus 5 and with the minus 17. So when I do all that, I get x squared. 11x plus 13x is going to be 24x. 12 plus 5 is 17. 17 take away 17 is 0. So I'm going to get x squared plus 24x equals 180. The 12 and the 5 and the minus 17 just canceled out. So now I got to set it equal to 0. So I'm just going to follow the steps for solving a quadratic here. So I'm going to say minus 180 on both sides. I get x squared plus 24x minus 180 equals 0. Double bubble, two sets of parentheses to factor it. And I need to find the factors of negative 180 that add up to 24. So think about that. What two numbers multiply to give you negative 180, but at the same time add up to give you 24? So what would those numbers be? Think about that for a second, and I'll be back. So the factors would be 30 and 6. Sorry about that. So the factors are 30 and 6, and they will actually be, one of them has to be positive, the other one has to be negative. So it's going to be plus 3 minus 6. 30 times negative 6 is negative 180, and 30 plus negative 6 is positive 24. Set both of these sets of parentheses equal to 0, so I get x plus 30 equals 0, x minus 6 equals 0. Let me rewrite that. X minus 30 minus 30, I get x equals negative 30. And then here, plus 6, I get x equals 6. And I get two answers, right? Because quadratic equations give you two answers. But I can only pick one. So which one do I pick? I'm going to pick x equals 6. X equals 6 is the answer. And I'm going to explain to you why in a second. Let me just write answer here. And I'm going to reject the negative. The reason I reject the negative is because when I plug that negative into, let's say, angle B, it's going to give me a negative answer for an angle, and we know angles can't be negative. So I reject the negative answer because of that. So the answer is x equals 6. That's the answer. Because when I plug 6 into each one of these here, it will give me positive angles. So this is the answer. Let's try another one. All right, so now for this next one, you're going to have to need to use the exterior angle theorem. So this one does not involve the angle sum theorem. You got to use the exterior angle theorem for this one. So as you know, the exterior angle theorem, what did I do? I called this angle 1. This is angle 2, and we'll call the outside angle 3. So the exterior angle theorem says angle 3 is equal to angle 1 plus angle 2, right? The outside angle is equal to the sum of the two non-adjacent interior angles. So we substitute. So when we substitute, we're going to get x squared minus 4x equals x plus 20 plus 2x plus 10, and you have a quadratic here. So we got to follow the steps of solving a quadratic. So what I'll do is, first I'm going to combine the like terms on the right side of the equation. That's going to get us x squared minus 4x equals 3x plus 30. Now I'm going to set it equal to 0. So I'm going to write minus 3x, and that gets us x squared minus 7x equals 30, and then minus 30 minus, whoops, should not put it under there, should put it here rather, and I get x squared minus 7x minus 30 equals 0. Next, factor. So x times x multiplies to x squared. I need two numbers that multiply to negative 30 but also add up to negative 7. So that will be negative 10 and positive 3. Negative 10 times 3 is negative 30. Negative 10 plus 3 is negative 7. Split them up. You're going to get x equals 10 here on this side, and you're going to get x equals negative 3 on this side. You're going to reject the negative, and your answer is x equals 10. And again, the reason you reject the negative is because when you plug it into one of the angled expressions, it's going to give you a negative angle, and we can't have a negative angle. So the answer is x equals 10. X equals 10 is the answer. Okay, I hope this video helps. Take care. Actually, before I let you go, let me just give you some guidelines, for solving geometry problems that involve quadratics. So these are some good guidelines here that you could follow. And now I hope this video helps. Have a good one.